but he's not. It's not happening. It's not happening.
All right, what's up, everybody?
Don't blame Haley. It was the other show's fault. Lo can't tell. He might be the legend of winning, but he's not the legend of telling time.
I don't think we hot yet.
Yeah, Lo, y'all took it.
We hot.
No. Are we hot? Oh,
yeah,
now we're hot. Okay, now we're hot.
Live and direct.
Don't blame the host because, Lo took forever to get off the last show. But, it's good to see you guys. We have a lot in store today. Obviously, in about 30 minutes, we're going to have Flat Earth Dave join us.
Flat Earth Dave!
You all requested, so we're going to deliver for you guys. Although I don't know what to expect, but come with an open mind, an open heart. It's going to be great.
You better have questions for him.
Oh, I have questions. Don't be worried. I spent the whole afternoon watching Bill Nye and how to prove the Earth is not flat.
Hey, random guy. Random guy on YouTube.
Shots fired.
Yep. So we have a lot to get into, though. We'll definitely touch on some of your super chats and deeper topics later on after Flat Earth Dave joins us. But before we get into that, of course, it's about to get crazy.
Is it about to get crazy? I don't know. Let's see.
Crazy. Open your minds and your hearts.
I've had the pleasure of sitting down and going having a one-on-one with Dave. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, but you guys aren't coming through my headphones, which is pissing me off. Just give me a second, and I think I'm good now.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Yes,
Mic
I'm
check.
good.
There we go. Now we're hot. Now we're hot.
Welcome.
I'm so critical. I'm so critical of other people and this quality of their sound and their camera, and then my shit fucks up all the time.
All right. I will warn you. We're on a. Be careful of the cussing. We're on a bit of a. Sorry
about that.
That's okay. We're on a little bit of a.
We've had our show downgraded to PG-13. We're no longer.
Recently, as of today,
we're now PG-13, so we can't say stuff now that we used to be able to say.
So I want to give everybody the backstory really quick. So when Fluent and Chil first started a while ago, one of the segments we used to do was called Conspiracies, and we would talk about anything, right? Did man land on the moon?
OJ did it.
Did OJ do it? Is Jimmy Butler Michael Jordan's son? Like whether it was sports or not, we talked about it. And one day we talked about the Earth being flat. I think it had to do with Kyrie Irving bringing it up. And someone, I don't know if it was Dave specifically, someone from Dave's Flat Earth Dave here called up, or I think we connected somehow on Instagram. And I said, yeah, let's do a one-on-one. And we did a whole interview. And I came back to Fluent and Chil the next week because Jay couldn't make it. And I said, man, he had a lot of really good points. I don't know if I'm fully there yet, but he had made a lot of good points. And Jay was like, come on, Tone. You kidding me, Tone? And so over the last year and a half or so, we've been saying, hey, we need to bring Dave back on for all of us. And so here he is, Flat Earth Dave. Tell us where everybody can find you, and then I'll let you go, Dave. We lost your audio.
Can't hear you, Dave.
No, that's because I'm on mute. That's because I mute myself.
I
always
was
do that.
Okay, there we go. Now we're hot. Okay, now we're hot.
FlatEarthDave.com is where you can find everything. And we're starting tomorrow, March 17th and 18th, we're having a summit. It's a 2-day full summit with comedy, music, amazing presentations. If you think Flat Earth is stupid, I challenge anyone, come to the summit. It's virtual. It's online. You can watch it anytime you want. Watch it live, interact. And at the end of that, if you still think the Earth is a globe and can supply me with one globe proof, I give you 3 Bitcoins. Okay? 3 Bitcoins, that's $75,000 today, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That was a much better deal when we first met.
It was. It was like $300,000, right? Or no, $150,000, $200,000, something like that. Whatever. But it's who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? It's probably gonna go back up. So check it out. You can find everything at FlatEarthDave.com. That's it. So
okay. So we're gonna have questions, but is there anything you want? Let me start there. Because you have a huge skeptic right here in the bottom right corner, and then a little one over here. I don't know about me. So Haley, do you want to start with a question, Haley, or do you want him to just take it away?
I think you should take it away, and then we'll grill or ask.
We'll grill.
I'll go. I'll give you my elevator pitch. What Flat Earth is and what it isn't. Right now, this is a balloon at 120 1,000 feet, about 20 miles up. And if you believe in the globe, you believe that as you move out tangent to your feet, the Earth is dropping away faster and faster. Kansas, they say, is one of the flattest places in the United States. It's just over 400 miles wide. Do you know how much curvature there is from one end of Kansas to the other? If you're standing on the border of Kansas and you drive to the other, you have to drop 20 miles. That's as high as this balloon. Kansas has as much curvature as there is from this balloon to the ground. Now, the reason your brain is going, I can't comprehend that, is because it's absolutely ridiculous. But according to globe math, that is a fact, right? So game over. Earth is flat, right? The other thing is, globe believers think that this is flat Earth. This is ridiculous. I would be ridiculing flat Earthers. I'd actually dedicate my life to ridicule flat Earthers if they thought this was flat Earth. Nobody thinks that we're a turnip floating in space.
Well, that's
Nobody
not real.
thinks. Yeah, no, that's not real. No one thinks that we're flat and other planets around. We don't even believe in planets, because when we get into that, planets, our consumer optics have outgrown their lives. You zoom in, and they're not what NASA shows you and what Disney shows you. They're energy balls of light here within, and when I say balls, I don't even know if they're balls. They're just points of light in the sky that are energetic.
So when I think about
when
I think about something flat, I think about a piece of paper. I think about a flat. I've driven through Kansas, by the way, and when you're talking about something flat, I mean, it's nothing but flat land going through.
We don't live on a flat Earth. We live on a level horizontal plane with hills and valleys and canyons and whatnot. But the characteristics of water, large bodies of water, anything over a gallon of water at rest lay flat.
Right.
I say lays. I get people. It's lies. Whatever. But I hate that. It sounds weird. Water.
We're not going to worry about grammar. We're not going to worry about
grammar. There's so many grammar Nazis out there. It's incredible. So, if you believe that we live on a spinning ball, you don't even understand what you believe, because if you understood what you believe, you'd be a flat earther, right? This is what this is the heliocentric system. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting the Earth at 66,000 miles an hour, speeding up and slowing down, speeding up and slowing down. We're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour, traveling 4.5 billion miles a year, never to come back to where we were before. But somehow the stars never change. Never change. In all of history, none of the stars have ever moved. When you're driving down the road, there's a thing called parallax. You move, things change. Right. And the global argument is, they're so far away that there's no parallax. Billions and billions and trillions of miles and no parallax. OK,
I've never heard that. You're the only person who's ever told this part to me, that we're spinning through space,
This is the heliocentric model. They don't teach you this, because if they did, half the kids in school that had half a brain would go, this is baloney. This is not happening. And then they would question.
Because I've heard we spin on multiple axes and rotate, and the moon, revolves around the Earth, and we revolve around the sun. That's what I've heard. Not this part, though.
We're spinning and orbiting and chasing the sun, and then we have satellites that are falling around the Earth, somehow maintaining a geoposition over a specific piece of land, corkscrewing, matching all of these speeds, speeding up and slowing down, curved trajectories, not straight like in an airplane. Airplanes fly straight and level over the Earth plane. People go, well, you don't feel it because it's so big. When I'm on an airplane, I could drink water. Well, if you want to compare the airplane to the slowest motion of the Earth, which is the spin, you have to double the speed of the jet. You have to remove the outside of the jet, because there's no outside above us on the globe, and you have to nosedive at a mile per minute. Okay, just to follow the curve. And then let me know how your water's doing, right? None of that makes any sense. So let me just put it into perspective. This is the hypersonic sled track. It goes by at Mach 8.6. Watch it. You can Google this and find it on YouTube and hear the sound, because the sound is shocking. Mach 8.6, 8.6 times the speed of sound. Okay, you have to believe that we are orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that. You can't even fathom it. Worse, we're chasing the sun at 100 times faster than that. Okay. And then when we go out into nature, we see this. Okay. What does this tell you? What does your common sense and not nonsense tell you? That tells you that these bodies of water are not moving. Their basins are not moving.
They're just
we live, right. We live in what I call the Antarctic basin. Well, what is that? We live in a pond. Think of all of the world Think all of the oceans as a pond. Shrink it down so we can make a model. We're in Kansas. We got a lake. Maybe it's 25, 50 miles around, whatever. And it's got islands. That's the whole world, we'll just say. All right? And why doesn't the water fall off the world? Well, it doesn't because there's a shoreline. The shoreline's higher than the water. Guess what? Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Huh. Didn't know that. Didn't teach you that in school, did they? Okay. Well, that's what they tell us. Okay. And so Antarctica is the shoreline. The question is, what's out here? What's out beyond that shoreline? So you're on that lake. You're sailing around. You can go around the middle. If the North Pole's at the middle, you can go west or east all the way around, and you're circumnavigating the center. Okay. Now, if you go south, which is any direction away from the center, all of a sudden you're going to get to the edge of your world. You're going to fall off into space, or you're going to step up onto the land in Kansas. Step up onto the land, you start walking. Okay. What are you going to find? I don't know, mile away, you can't even see the lake anymore. Let's say you go, 10 miles, remember we got a small scale. All of a sudden, what if you found another lake? What if you found more water and more islands, more continents? Okay. That is a physical possibility. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying it's physically possible versus the impossibleness of outer space. Right.
So hold on.
Okay. Jay, hold on. Haley, I'm going to start Haley because Haley hasn't said anything yet. And I think Haley went from a 0 to maybe a 1 in her believability. But go ahead. Do you have a question, Haley?
Yeah. Well, I have a million. This is really good. But the one thing is like when you say, oh, they didn't teach you this in school, like I guess the world's chasing the sun at this insane rate and all these things. Like that's one question I have. And two, I also wanted to clarify. So, and you might have shown it in an earlier slide. What is the shape then? Is it still a globe and we just live in like a little crevice of it? Or is it a, like Jay said, a piece of paper flat?
No, it's not neither of those, right?
It's the little cone thing you showed us?
No. I look at it as the Earth is the basement of the universe. No other way to explain it. Nobody knows what's below, Glober or Flat Earther, because the deepest hole is 7.8 miles. No one's been able to get farther than that, okay? They hit an impenetrable barrier. Some weird stuff happened. They closed up the hole. Nobody can get farther than that. So nobody knows, right? So if you look at that and compare it to, they tell us that this is the whole Earth. This meme is in every school book, right? They teach you this, right? But if the Earth was an apple, they drilled like a fraction of the way through the skin of the apple. And when they were drilling, they were wrong every step of the way. They were like, oh, no more rocks, no more water. They hit rocks, they hit water, right? So they're wrong. Then they hit something they couldn't get through, and they're like, oh, we know what the next 4,000 miles are, and they give us this meme. This is pseudoscience. This is nonsense. This is a molten magnetic core. I'm sorry, you can't have a molten magnet. Magnets lose their magnetism before they melt, okay? So it's all just pseudoscience nonsense, but a guy in a bow tie in a lab coat tells you, and you believe it, okay? And a failed comedian. That's who the people are trusting. It's absolute and complete and total nonsense.
Who's the failed comedian? Just for those that don't know,
that would be Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie.
That's my guy.
That's your guy, Bill Nye.
That's my guy. Yeah.
Did you know he was a comedian before he was a scientist?
Yeah. I've seen.
He wasn't. He's not a scientist. Yeah. He's just a comedian. He's not a scientist.
Oh,
he's not a scientist.
He's not Dr. Bill Nye. He's just Bill Nye.
Wait, the black dude with the bow tie?
No. That's Neil deGrasse Tyson, the other failed actor. Okay, Neil deGrasse Tyson. We've been trying. We've got open letters to him. Everything. We want to have a conversation with him. He's like, we don't have time for flat earthers, but he has time to make video after video after video, gaslighting us and making false claims about flat Earth. Let me show you. I got to show you something real quick. I've been showing it a lot in interviews. This was a map that was found in a Buddhist temple. Google will tell you that it's fake, that it's from something else, because that's the only thing they can do. But it shows all of these other continents outside of our area. Okay. So what is this, right? So this is what happened. We were on a ship tracking site, and you can check out cargo ships all around the world, and we saw some ships that were hundreds of miles inside of the shoreline of Antarctica. We're like, how could a ship get all the way in there? And when you click on any of these ships, it gives you all the information, tells you where they're going, cargo, captain, everything about the ship, the type of ship, tons of stuff. We click on the one down here, and it just says 580 meters long, and it's registered on the island of Kiribati. Like, What? That's all it shows you? Where's Kiribati? Kiribati, you can't even see it. I put a pin on it. Let me find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. You zoom in. This is a sandbar. Okay. And this gigantic cargo ship is registered there. Now, the United States and China are saying Kiribati is a very important trade route. Very, very important. Okay. Why the heck is Kiribati so important? Why do they have a giant ship? Why are they heading towards Antarctica? And how the heck did they get inside of what supposedly is supposed to be shore and ice? Well, here's what I propose. Kiribati has a shipping lane to the outer lands, to where there's other civilizations, where there's advanced civilizations. Maybe that's where we're getting all these damn computer chips from, right? Because they didn't just make these things from the 1970s, right? These are coming from elsewhere. Maybe the real people that control our world are out here. Maybe there's other shipping lanes that we don't know about.
That's where you lose me. That's where you lose me, Dave. That's where you lose me.
Okay.
That's where you lose me. It's these outer people who control. That's where you lose me.
So you know what? Let's get off of that.
Let me ask you first. Let me ask you my question first. Let me ask you my question first. Let me ask you. So when I look up in the sky,
do you believe in aliens? Real quick, do you believe that aliens come from outer space?
Do I believe that aliens come from outer space?
Do you believe that there's aliens in outer space?
No, I don't.
You don't believe that there's other aliens. So you believe in this entire universe that we're the only place that life exists?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty egocentric of you, man.
I do not believe that.
Do you believe that? You believe that there's aliens?
There's definitely other stuff going on.
I don't know if they're the aliens we picture.
There's no way that we're the only we're the only life form going on in the universe. No.
I can't. If I'm the center of the universe, I can't believe that there's other living things out there.
Well, here's the thing.
Tone, just because you're, I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir, but Tone, just because you're the headliner, Tone, does not mean that there's not other acts in the show.
Yeah,
so you know.
Let me just
open your mind.
No, but let me ask my question first.
Go ahead.
All right. So when I look up in the sky, I see the moon.
Yeah.
And it's round. I don't need a telescope.
Is it round?
No. I see that it's round.
Are you 100% sure that
I'm
it's round?
1,000% I see a round moon.
You see a round moon, but is it round? So let me ask you a question.
Wait,
is this moon, these are moons. How big are they? How far are they? And are they spherical? Yes, they're round. Are they spherical?
I'm just sticking to round.
No, you're saying, you're looking at the moon, you're telling me it's round. And I'm going to show you that
when I look at the moon,
I think I know where he's going.
When I look at the moon, let me finish my question. When I look at the moon, I see that it's round. When I look at the sun, I see that it's round. Yeah. And so, depending on the light, I can see a crescent moon. So I'm making an assumption that it's spherical because depending on where the light's hitting it from, I see different parts of the moon. So if those two are round, maybe not even, I won't even say spherical. If those two are round,
I need to stop you. I need to stop you before you make your point, because I'm going to show you that you cannot prove that they're round. Is this spherical? Is this one spherical?
Whoa. Okay? You're asking two different questions. You're asking two different questions.
How's that two different questions?
It's a difference between spherical and round.
So round, are you saying that the moon is spherical or round?
It's a circle.
Okay, so the moon, so the Earth is a circle too, and the definition of a circle is a line on a plane where every point on that line is equidistant from its center. Okay, so the Earth is a circle. The North Pole is at the center. Now, are you saying that the moon is a flat circle or a sphere? Because I'm saying
that it's a circle, and then based on certain angles that I see it from, I'm making an assumption that it's spherical because I see like a crescent moon and a half moon.
So hang on. So I just was quoting you. You said circle. I know you meant sphere. I said spherical, and then I was just objected that that's not what you said. So you are meaning that the moon is a sphere. Is this a sphere?
Yes, he is.
That's what he means. Is this one a sphere?
No, it is not.
Is it flat? Is it a cup? It's half. Oh, it's a half, just like the other one. How do you know it's a sphere? How do you know it's half? Because it's not. It's flat. Okay? It's completely flat. Is this one flat or a sphere? You must know because you can see it. You should know.
I got to see it from different angles.
So, so you can see the moon from different angles? How's that?
You can.
No, you can't. You could see the moon with different lighting patterns.
We can't, but there have been people that have. And
no one has. How
are you? Are you? So are you saying that at 7?
So you're saying the moon is also flat?
I'm saying that the moon is a light in our sky, provably so, and it's not lit by a single source light, because a single source light leaves a hot spot on a sphere. When you light up a sphere, and it's a hot spot, and then it goes, and then it fades away. Okay, so when you look at our full moon, it's casting light so bright back at the Earth that it casts my shadow on the ground. How does a dusty ball 250,000 miles away reflect sunlight so well that it's able to cast a shadow and I'm able to read by it? Because we can't replicate that here on Earth. And when you cast a light,
because of the sun, that's why. Because of the sun.
No. But when you light something up with the sun,
the question he's asking is, how does a dusty ball reflect sun?
Yeah, how does it reflect it so bright that we can see it? Here's the thing that you guys don't understand. Every time you double the distance to a light, it's 1/4 of the brightness. Or every time you get halfway closer to a light, it's 4 times brighter. So if we're looking at the moon and it's 1 lumen, that full moon, 1 lumen, beautiful. We go halfway to the moon, it's 4 lumens. Halfway to that distance, it's 16 lumens. Halfway again, it's 64. By the time we get to 100 miles from the moon, it needs to be 60 times brighter than the sun for us to see it at 1 lumen here on Earth. That's according to science, okay? So we are not seeing a dusty, dirty ball reflecting sunlight. Also, have you guys looked up and seen Jupiter in the sky recently? It's really bright. It's like the brightest star in the sky. It's like bigger than any star. Have you seen it? It's in our night sky. If you get a clear night, go out, and you'll see it in the sky. It's so friggin' bright. It's literally as bright as the sun, but it's just small, okay? Bigger than any star. So Jupiter, a gassy, non-reflective surface, way farther than we are from the sun. If you were on Jupiter, NASA says the sun would be almost as small as a star. So you have to believe that little starlight, our sun, is reflecting off of the non-reflective gassy surface, traveling all the way to the Earth, ignoring the inverse square law, and it's so bright we see it as bright as the sun. None of that works when you actually think about it. When you actually do the math, none of it works. None of it works. We couldn't see stars at the distance they tell us, not at a fraction of the distance.
But there's nothing. There's no other color. It's pitch black. So any light, it's like, I think any light's going to shine.
It doesn't matter in light. So light travels. It spreads away. Get a match and hold it an inch from the wall, and it puts a nice bright light on the wall. Then move it 2 inches away, and then 4 inches away, and 8 inches away. By the time you get a couple feet away, there's really not much light on the wall. Bring it across the room, and you can't even notice the light on the wall because that light is spreading out. It doesn't go out like a laser beam, and a laser beam actually spreads out, but it spreads out, and it's just spreading out, getting weaker and weaker and weaker and thinner and thinner and thinner. But we have to believe that it maintains its brightness. We have to believe, I don't know if you guys believe in the moon landings. Please say no. Please say no. You guys believe in the moon landings?
Jay does not. Jay does not. Haley does.
So, oh my God. So look at the astronauts on the light side of the moon. How is that not blowing out their camera when that light's bright enough here on Earth to cast my shadow on the ground? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
I want to get back on. I want to get back on what you said in the beginning about
Let's pause that for a second because we have a couple of live super chats. So let me go through those quickly because they're specific to Dave. Some of them are just comments; they're not necessarily questions. You know why Earth isn't flat? Gravity. If the Earth was flat,
that's where I was getting.
That's what I wanted to say too. Why water doesn't move?
Right
How much time do we have?
How
much time do we have? How much time do we
have?
I
was about to
if you could answer it in like 2 minutes, so I can get to the rest of them.
I got this one is the most important one of all. Okay.
Gravity.
So did you know that? Did you know that gravity is just a theory? Gravity.
No, it's not a theory. No, it is not.
It's started off as a theory.
There's no way you're telling me that gravity is a theory. I understand Galileo. No, you're not selling me this. This is unbelievable.
I don't have to sell you. Go look it up.
Okay, we'll roll with it. We'll say.
Go ahead.
It's a theory. It's a theory.
Mainstream science says gravity is a theory. I don't have to tell you. Don't believe. And by the way, don't believe anything I say. Go verify the stuff. Gravity is a theory. Okay. This balloon, like that balloon, is hanging down. Why is it hanging down? Because of gravity, right? So if I tied a 10-pound weight onto this non-inflated balloon, it would stretch the rubber because that 10 pounds is pulling heavy on the balloon, right? So If I turn gravity up, would it stretch this balloon out? Maybe, right? It'd be stronger, and the balloon would be heavier, and the rubber would stretch. When we put air in it, just the air pressure alone is like, get me out of here. It's able to stretch the balloon. It's in every direction, including up and away from gravity, from the alleged gravity. So how does air pressure stay on Earth adjacent to a vacuum? Because nowhere in science, in nature, in a lab, anywhere, can you have high pressure gas next to low pressure or no pressure space and without a container, right? You can't have a tank of propane without the tank, okay? You can't have high pressure next to low pressure. But I'm gonna prove to you that gravity doesn't exist. Gravity doesn't exist, okay? So there is there's a thing called electrostatics. There is the ground is neutral, and then everything above the ground has a positive charge to it. Okay, if you look at the periodic table, so
the ground isn't. So hold on, before you go any further. So the ground, it's neutral. That means that it isn't either this or that. It's just there.
Is that what I'm understanding? Some people say it's a negative charge. Some people say it's neutral. It's not positive.
So it's just there, right? So it's just there.
Yes.
Is that fair? Because it's not anything. It's not this or it's not that. It's just there.
It's not positively charged. So you know that positive and negative. So you know that positive.
It's neutral.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand that part.
Without going into a whole science lesson, you're gonna have to look at this stuff up for yourself and verify it. There is a flow of electricity going from the sky down to the ground. Okay, everything is trying to get to the ground. That electrostatic force goes to the ground. So when I hold this ball and I let it go, it falls down. One, because it's positively charged. The ground is neutral, and it goes towards the ground. Okay. The reason, if I drop this ball over the water, it would sit on top of the water. And then if I had rocks, they would drop, they'd go below the water. And if I had a helium balloon, it would go up. And all because of buoyancy and density. But down is down because of electrostatics. Now, how can we prove that? All right.
Right.
I can prove it. Here's a little experiment we did. Everyone knows, where am I? Here I go.
So the law of gravity is not a law.
No, it's not a law. It's a theory. So check this out. We have these balloons holding up. I got a little button here. And it's just a couple inches above the ground. And we have a wire going to what's called a Van der Graaf generator. And we're able to put a positive charge. Here we go. We're hitting it with a positive charge. And it goes down. Now, are we defying gravity? Are we increasing gravity? Or are we just increasing the attraction, the electrostatic traction, discharge, and it goes up? And if we do the opposite, here's a tinfoil triangle. We put a negative charge into it, and it goes up. As long as we keep that negative charge in there, this is what I believe the secret space program does. They know how to fly things electrostatically. And how could I say such a wild thing like that? Because MIT just came out with this silent drone. It makes just a minor hum, no moving parts, and it flies. Why is it flying? Because it's negatively charged. They're changing the electrostatic charge. Does it change? Does it fly gravity?
Who is they? They who? Who is they?
This is MIT. MIT.
Okay.
MIT. Okay. So MIT is flying this around because they're changing electrostatic charge. Now let's pretend, and we really need to pretend, that gravity is real. Do you know that science says the electrostatic charge is 10 to the 39th power stronger? 10 to the 39th power. Now, I don't believe it, but this is what they say. 10 to the 39th power is a number that you can't even comprehend. Okay, because 10 to the 15th power is 1 trillion times stronger. Okay. And then 10 to the 39th is ridiculous. Okay. Right. So it's 10 to the 39th stronger than gravity. How the hell can anyone say that it's gravity to make something go down? The electrostatic force is observable, testable, repeatable, and it's right there. You can manipulate it. Gravity, no one has ever been able to manipulate gravity. No one can explain why a plumb bob next to Mount Everest doesn't point a little bit sideways. No one can.
With all of this being said, what is holding me down right now? Why have I not floated into space?
So the electrostatic force, well, there is no space. The electrostatic force is holding you down.
Okay, why have I not floated into
Hold on. I'm answering your question. During electrical storms, things have been observed to fall faster. Why? Because the area has been changed electrically. Yeah, that's why they fall faster. And when someone gets hit with lightning, why do they go flying in the air? Because it's charging the ground and changing it to a positive charge. And that's why things go flying in the air when they get struck by lightning. Okay?
All right.
It's
I got to jump
gravity,
in.
It's electrostatic.
because we're running out of time. So I quickly want to go through. So Mars, who's one of our hosts of one of our other shows, the law of gravity states that the force between two objects is proportional to the product of their masses divided by the square of the distance times the gravitational constant.
That's a theory. It's a theory. They've never proved it.
What you have right now is a theory too. Why do I know that?
No,
it's because I was on a roller coaster. Okay, I was on a roller coaster. It's called the Hellhole on Coney Island. They put you in this thing and they spin you around, Tone, as fast as they possibly can. And the floor drops.
That's the force,
what happens when the floor drops? The floor drops and you stick to the wall. You just told me about the Earth spinning. So if the Earth stops spinning,
the Earth is not
spinning.
spinning.
Earth stops spinning. What is the Earth doing exactly?
It's sitting still, just like nature shows you. It's sitting still. Absolutely. You're in the cyclone thing. That's called
you said we were following the sun. You said we were like chasing the sun.
No. That's what globers say.
That's what globers
say. What are we doing?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you.
You have the sun and moon revolving around us, correct?
This is. We're looking straight down on the Earth. The Earth is like a big pond. The shoreline is Antarctica. The sun goes around once every 24 hours. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. That explains the time zones. The sun laps the moon once every 28 days. So the sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The moon keeps track of the weeks and the months. Then if I turn the stars on, the stars lap the sun once a year. So the stars keep track of the seasons and the years. The sun will drift back through each zodiac for about a month. And then everything resets. Go out tonight, take a picture of the stars at a certain time, put a note in your calendar to do the same thing, same place, next year, same time, and every star will be in the exact same position.
That's
not next year.
That is impossible.
Next year,
yeah. Next year? What about tomorrow? So if that's
tomorrow,
true, what about
slightly
tomorrow?
off. They're slightly off.
So why are they slightly off if we're not moving?
Let me explain. Look, the sun is here, so midnight would be over here. These stars are going a little bit faster than the sun. So in 30 days, they're going to be 15 degrees farther. That's why they're going to be different every night. But then they come all the way back around and reset. No matter what day of the year you take that picture, same day next year, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, every star will be in the exact same position. It happens all the time.
So because we're running out of time, I'm going to try to go through these super chats quickly.
Go.
So try to keep your answers short. I do apologize. Okay.
So
Angie Carr, flat earthers tried to prove their theory by using a laser beam over a significant distance. The beam would stay visible on target regardless of distance, proving the flatness of the earth, but failed when the laser was not visible.
So what the bottom line is, they're talking about a Netflix hit piece that was completely edited out of order. In my app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, if you hit debunking the debunkers, there's a full explanation of exactly what happens there. There's also in there a list called Flat Earth Experiments, where we've done laser experiments. We've done sun flashes, mirror flashes with the sun at ground level, and we could see them where they'd be hiding behind, a 10-story building. Of a
so you're saying that laser is part of this, Behind the Curve, or is this a different documentary?
Behind the Curve is not a documentary. It's the Behind the Curve one?
No. Can you explain the one that she had brought up about
the laser?
Because I'm sure people ask you that because it's pretty.
Yeah. So the experiment was to take a laser, level it on a canal, and run it through 3 mile separated holes in a big piece of wood, right? In a big piece of plywood. And if the Earth is curved, there's no way that they go through all 3. But the problem was when we're using the laser, the condenser, because lasers spread out, melted. So we couldn't use the laser. So now we're just experimenting at night. We don't know what's going on. We're holding the light. We can't see the light. And we tell the guy to hold the light up. All of a sudden we can see it. And we're like, oh, that's interesting. The problem is if the Earth was curved, he'd have to hold it up 27 feet for us to see it. But he held it up 3 feet over his head. We could see it. Then he brought it back down. We could see it again. And that would kind of, to all of us, prove the Earth is flat. But we didn't even claim that. We go, there's too many variables. We're not going to claim anything. But the movie edited it because they put it out there and they made it so everyone that might think about flat Earth ends up seeing that movie and go, oh, those flat Earthers, that's the best proof a Glober has that a flat Earther proved it's flat. Absolutely not. If you go into the app, in the web page there, go to the experiments. We've done tons of them. Mirror flashes of the sun, and you can see the sun. It should be behind 10 stories of water. Can't happen. Next.
Okay,
Sorry,
we got.
I'll make them shorter.
No,
Go ahead.
no. You're doing great. You're doing great. If the globe was spinning as fast as they say, the centrifugal force, I hope I said that right, would cause continents to move from the poles to the center. The Earth is flat.
Well,
Yeah,
Neil deGrasse Tyson says because of the spin of the Earth, the water bulges 14 miles high at the equator because of the centrifugal force.
He does say that. I've heard him say that. Yes.
So that's the coolest thing. Now think about this: if you're flying in North America and you go up to cruising altitude about 5 miles, and you're going to fly to Ecuador, at what point do you triple your altitude to 90,000 feet just to skim over that hump? 14 miles high, you only fly 5 miles high. So when you fly to Ecuador, you have to triple your height so the belly of the plane will skim over that hump. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. Nowhere down on the equator does the plumb bob not go plumb to water at rest. Nowhere.
I don't know. That just went right over my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one I saw because I saw Neil deGrasse. Neil deGrasse says if you look at the globe, this one I've seen, it bulges out the water. It actually isn't a globe; it kicks out here and it goes higher.
Yeah, but
so
it can't.
If you're flying over it, you have to
14 miles high.
Fly higher.
But we don't run by that. Most people don't run by that theory.
Rufus Elder chimed in and said the best proof is in the Bible. Yeah, created it, and he said it's flat and has 4 corners.
And here's
like
the
paper,
thing.
like
the
paper,
Bible,
basically.
Well, no, God. But verse 1 in Genesis said God separated the waters from the waters and created the firmament, right? And then described a circle on the earth. A circle is a line on a plane that is equidistant. All points are equidistant from its center. On the web button again, if you scroll down just a little bit, there's biblical flat earth, mind-blowing stuff. Now, if you're a Bible believer or a Bible not believer, watch these. It'll change your life. This is amazing stuff in here, right? All of this stuff, again, is hidden. Why is Google hiding it? You Google flat earth on YouTube, you're going to get the same list of videos. You Google, hey, David Weiss, flat earth proof. Down, you'll get a list of videos. You Google horizon proof on a flat earth.
Well, it's clearly not hidden because you got it. It's clearly not hidden.
It's going to be, you're going to be the same. It's going to be the same videos no matter what you search for, as long as it says flat earth.
I will admit, Google does hide stuff. They don't want, they will do that.
Yeah, that's so. Can you just? I have more super chats, but can you quickly, because there is the one that I really liked that I want Jay and Haley to see is the flight pattern one, where you show the plane flying from one place to another, and it has to take an emergency landing, but instead of going here, it goes over there. Do you remember that one?
So there's a bunch. Emergency landings are absolute proof that we live on a flat plane, or at least that they're lying about where we're flying. Here's one from New York to Hawaii, and emergency happened right here, and they went all the way to Seattle, and they got there in like 15 minutes.
Trade winds.
Right?
Trade
Right?
winds.
No. They're here, and they got to Seattle in 15 minutes, over 1,000 miles. But if you look at it, Seattle is right on the line of exactly where they're going, right? Here's another one. This one, they went to Dallas to Beijing. They went to Calgary, like 1,500 miles out of the way. But if you look at it, Calgary is on the same route that if we were going, on a flat Earth. Let me show you 2 more, and this is going to get you. This was an emergency landing. This was the World Cup. You guys are into sports, right? They had it in Doha. And then when they left, they went to Rome to refuel. They didn't need to pick up anybody. They had their own flight, chartered flight. They went to Rome to refuel, and then they flew to Buenos Aires. Well, Doha to Buenos Aires versus Rome to Buenos Aires is about the same distance. So why did they go out of their way to get more fuel? Because on a flat Earth, they went here because they can't fuel up here in the middle of the ocean. Wait, another emergency landing. This is a good one. This one is from New York to Auckland, New Zealand. Right here, they had an emergency. They went to Fiji. What the hell did they go to Fiji for? That is way out of the way when they could have just kept going here. And the answer is because on a flat Earth, Fiji is right there, right on line, not over here, right here, right? Here's Fiji. Boom, Fiji, New Zealand. And then one more, because this one, maybe it'll shake somebody awake. This plane is going from Hong Kong. They were going to the UK. They ended up stopping in Germany because 4 hours into this 12-hour flight, a mother died. She's with her little kids, her husband. They're all sitting together. Mother's dead. They can't revive her. She's dead. Okay? So you got to land a plane. Well, guess what? There's probably 100 different airports they could have stopped at, but they didn't stop for 8 hours. 8 hours. What the hell is going on? And the answer is because this is the flight route, and they were over Russia. They can't land in Russia because Russia would probably be the good guys and help. And 2, what the hell are they doing flying over Russia? I thought we weren't even allowed to fly over Russia. This is where they were. Okay, that's why they had to land in Frankfurt. Okay, emergency landings 100% prove the Earth is flat. And don't believe me. You can find this book, 16 Emergency Landings, online. It's a free PDF, or you can order it from lulu.com. It's a great coffee table book. It's all documented for you. All the work has been done for you. Don't believe me. Don't believe what's in the book. Go look at it. Look at the footnotes.
I don't
look
believe
at the
a word
articles.
of this. I don't.
Right, so let me
believe
do
a
the last
word of
question.
this.
I don't.
You don't believe the word of this.
But
Give me
this
the
dude is
best
telling
proof
me
that we
we
live on a
can't-
globe. Give me the best proof we live on a
my
globe,
God.
other than it looks like a basketball.
You didn't give me any proof that we don't. You didn't.
There
You
are just-
didn't
We
give me
can
any.
see too far. Okay,
you,
here.
You didn't
I'll
give
tell
me
you what,
any
hold
proof
on,
that we don't.
Hold on, let me
Let's
play a quick game. Let's play a quick game.
Okay.
I'll give one proof, and then you give another proof. Okay. So on a ball, right? This is a spot in Alusia, France. We're looking at 175 miles away is Mount Canigou. According to Globe Math, and you could check it out yourself, you can't see Mount Canigou because the top of it is almost a mile below the curve. Okay. So, and you can't see it. So you can't see it, right? Because the light that's bouncing off of Mount Canigou can't make it to your eyes. Glober would say, no, it's because it's over the curve. But twice a year, when the sun migrates in between the tropics, twice a year, it lines up with Mount Canigou and the viewer. And when it does, all of a sudden, it starts backlighting it. It moves and it backlights it, and you can see the mountain. The top of this mountain should be almost a mile below the curve. Now, if the Earth was still a ball,
The reason
it would have
why. Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going.
You're going to say the reason why is because this is over the curve and it's refracting up and magically stopping at eye level. All right, why can you see it?
Why can't you see it? It's because the Earth is moving. That's why.
What do you
That's
mean
why the
the
sun
Earth is moving?
Because the Earth is moving.
You're on the Earth. You're moving with it. You're in the same reference frame. How would the Earth moving mean that I can't see it? How come I can see it? You're just throwing words out that mean nothing right now.
And this is what you're telling me. This is what you're telling me. You're telling me.
I'm telling you. Look.
I'm sorry.
Use your eyes. Use your eyes.
I'm using my eyes.
You can see this mountain.
Wait,
you can see the mountain.
Haley has a question. Go ahead, Haley. Go ahead, Haley.
It's on this topic because I just want to understand that I'm getting it right. So this mountain, Mount whatever, Montagu or whatever. So this mountain is there, Mount Canigou, and you can only see it 2 times
twice a year.
That's it.
Right, because the sun has to backlight it. That's why.
Right.
Because you can't see it.
If it was setting, if it's setting, but I guess I just need to do some research into.
Yes,
like,
do. You said you were doing research before the show. I'm very disappointed, Haley. Here's my big question.
I'm just curious.
And a couple of people have asked this question as well. So Angie Carr asked it, so I'll give her the credit for it. If what you're saying is true, what is your opinion on why this information would be suppressed from the public? Why are they telling us the globe? Why are they telling us that we revolve around the sun? And why create this whole solar system of lies?
Right. The solar system. So let's talk about that. But first, let me give you an analogy. You walk into a room and there's slaughtered bodies all over the place, blood on the walls. It's just disgusting, right? You walk around and you don't go, why? I can't think of a motive. Therefore, it didn't happen. You're looking at the evidence. We have more evidence than all of those dead bodies in the room. You have only seen a tiny fraction of it. But why the lie? So now you got all the evidence. We could speculate about the lie, and it's very easy. Because if you knew that you weren't on a speck flying through an infinite universe where an asteroid could take us out, where we're running out of food, we have global warming, we're running out of fuel, we're running out of space, we're afraid of nuclear bombs. If you knew that all of that was fake and that you were at the center of creation and that you are a powerful being, that nobody has control over you other than in your imagination, if you knew that there's abundance, that there's more beyond, that we're limited, they put us in a circle 60 degrees south. No one's allowed to go farther than that. If you knew that there was more, then you would be uncontrollable, right? They want us in control. They want to depopulate
Who is they? Who is they?
So the ones that we know, those are the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the royal
the money
families.
People. That's what you're saying.
No. Hold on. I believe those are just the puppets from the real controllers. During the election, John Kerry went down to Antarctica, disappeared for 3 days, and then all of a sudden came back. right? All of these world officials, they all go to Antarctica. You can see, you can track them. They go there to what's called South Pole Station. Then they disappear for 3 days, and then they show back up at South Pole Station. Where are they going? Where are they going? Okay, and you say, I talk about more land. I think there's more land inside of our pond before we get to Antarctica because, they just discovered 7,000 new islands around Japan. Think about
7,000 in the country of Japan.
I've never heard of this.
Look it up right now.
In the country of Japan.
Haley, can you look it up? Haley, can you look
it
up? Because I do want to get to these
7,000. So
I want to get to these super chats. But I do have one other question because there was another. This is totally off topic. Just quickly, because there was one that I heard. Birds aren't real. Do you have any?
Yeah. That's what they want you to think. Flat earthers think that's ridiculous. Birds are real. Okay.
No, there's this thing. Birds are real. They're all just government spies.
They make up stuff. These are called straw mans. Flat earthers think birds aren't real. Flat earthers think that Australia isn't real. Flat earthers, tried to jump a canyon in a steam-powered rocket to prove the earth is flat and ended up killing himself. None of that's true. It's all what the mainstream media wants you to think.
Okay, so let me get to these super chats while Haley looks up the 7,000 islands. According to the science, Newtonian physics is wrong, and they opt more towards Einstein's version of physics.
Right. So gravity, Newtonian gravity, has been thrown out, and now they're on Einsteinian, not Einstein, on the bending, curling, bending of space time, which is just ridiculous. Because how do you have something bent in space? Why doesn't it bend in every direction? Why is it bent in one direction? None of that makes any sense. And the entire theory of relativity has been disproven and thrown out, but they haven't replaced it with anything. Therefore, they still teach it in school. They still teach it as real, even though the scientists have thrown it out because they haven't replaced it.
So we thought the Earth was flat. They went exploring, came back, and said, "Whoa, we're going to create this globe."
So actually, Admiral Byrd went out to Antarctica in the 1950s, and he said he discovered more land.
I don't know what you have there, but I love this technology, this background. I got to get this. See how he has his phone and he can pull stuff up?
So Admiral Byrd went out and said there's more land bigger than Antarctica, bigger than the United States, filled with resources, and no human has ever stepped foot upon, right? And then all of a sudden they said, okay, nobody can go to Antarctica. All of the countries in the world fighting over resources, fighting over land, fighting over everything. They all say, oh, there's land bigger than the United States that nobody lives on, filled with resources. Okay, nobody can go there. And they put up this 60 degrees south barrier, and no one's allowed to go there. And you say, well, how would they guard all that? How would they guard all that? And the way they do it is they have military bases all around. There's 8 of them. 8 of them. They're all UN, Crown, run military bases, and nobody is allowed to go explore past 60 degrees south. Okay.
We got to get to some basketball, but let me just make sure I got all the super chats for Dave. Give me 1 second to double check that.
And speaking of the islands, he's right, actually, that they were discovered. They're saying that I guess the technology that they had used to, geospatial technology, they accounted for these islands before were wrong, and so they've recounted, and there's like a lot more islands.
There's a lot more islands. Okay, so look at that.
Let me just throw one thing out.
Go ahead.
For people, flatearthdave.com. That's where you can find my app. It's $3. It's incredible. It's the best resource you have with the Google censorship. Come to the conference. You can find it on the app. You can find it on flatearthdave.com. And anybody that can, if you think I'm crazy, give me one proof you live on a globe. Right? One proof. You can't. Right? And you win 3 Bitcoins or 3,000 ounces of silver. Either one. Okay? Bitcoins are easy because I could just send them over the internet.
Angie Carr says, chill about, that's Jay, about to blow a gasket. Go watch Curry play, then tell me there's no gravity. That is a very, very basketball-centric.
Well, ask Kyrie if the earth is flat. He knows. He had to walk back.
Have you talked to him before?
No, we want to. Hook us up. Eventually. We've been tweeting at him and reaching at him, but he knows. But he walked it back because he's going to lose all his sponsors, right? The big corporate.
Really?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. Ross says that you're on something. Gravity is real. Explain Michael Jordan. He defies gravity.
We're electrical beings. We're light beings. Everything is electrostatic. Everything has electric charge to it. Everything. Without it, we're dead. Okay, our hearts are electric. Our hearts don't pump blood; they electrify it, and they send it through our body. with a charge.
God, I can't.
Okay,
I do believe that 85% of the stars are binary. It's more like that we
do you
have
have any proof of that?
Okay.
You have no proof of that.
I'm just going through these.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
Oh.
I'm from the distant lands where we make computer chips. He's spitting facts. Chase Ritter says it. He's spitting facts. Angie Carr does not want any Bill Nye slander. So just
Bill Nye slander.
be aware of that. We got two more. Fluent. If the Earth is a globe, explain how gravity keeps water surrounding Australia, yet flies, birds, and planes can freely fly through the sky. They're not pulled down by the same force holding down the water.
Let me ask you a gravity question. I got my hand here, and let's say I have a 5-pound metal frying pan, and I want to hold it against my hand. How much pressure would I need to hold that frying pan to my hand? A 5-pound frying pan. Would I need 3 pounds of pressure or more than 5 pounds to hold it up?
So essentially what you're saying is as humans, we are not.
Answer me this question.
No. I'm going back to what you I'm going back to what you
let me go whatever you want, but let me make my point. To hold a 5-pound frying pan to my hand, underside of my hand, I need 5 pounds of pressure or more. So 5 pounds of pressure. So on the bottom of the globe, we have trillions of tons of water. How much pressure do you need to hold that to the globe?
What does that have to do with you just saying that we basically run on batteries? That's basically what you're saying.
We're all electrical.
Right. So we basically are. And what's charging us? And for something to be electrical, there has to be a charge. Is that correct? There has to be some sort of source. There has to be some sort of source.
Electricity is coming down through the air. It's measurable. Do any of you guys have a drone? Get your drone and get a thin copper wire spool and run it out. Let the drone go up as high as you can, and then touch that wire and tell me you don't get electrocuted. There's electricity in the air, free energy. They're hiding free energy. They're hiding more resources. They're hiding more land. They're hiding the creator. They're hiding technology. They're hiding cures for cancer. They're hiding everything. They're trying to keep us sick and down and scared and weak.
I believe the cancer thing.
This is what kills me, Dave. You say stuff that I'm like, oh, I agree with that. And that's why I'm like, well, I agree with that, but I don't necessarily agree with the other
But
stuff.
you guys are too attached to your ball. You don't want to let go of your ball. Give me a globe proof right now, and I'll give you 3 Bitcoins. One globe proof.
I've seen a picture of it.
You seen a picture of it?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I seen a picture of a dinosaur. Does that make dinosaurs real?
Yes, dinosaurs were real.
Oh my Lord! Oh my God! So is this the picture you saw?
Dinosaurs were real.
Look at the United States. This is the United States. This is a image from NASA. So here's the same amount of land. All of this land is on the other side of that ball. Okay, all of that land is on the other side of the ball. Are you kidding me? Look at this one. If we measure from Mexico to Baja, we know how far this is. We know it's 934 miles. We could actually measure it. Not like the moon. This is something we can measure. Well, they tell us the diameter of the Earth is 7,917, so I should be able to fit 8.5 of these between these two lines. This is a painting. This is what you saw. This is your proof that we live on a globe, something that doesn't even work. Where's the rest of the continents? Look at America, okay? Use your God-given common sense and stop believing nonsense because it was told to you. You've been brainwashed your entire life, just like I was, but I was able to break it and say, okay, let me prove the globe. And I even went into this to prove the globe and disprove flat Earth, right? And that's how I ended up here, all right? So when you stop and look and say, you know, your best proof right now is photos of Earth. You know, the anti-flat earthers are laughing. They're like, oh my God, this is horrible, right? Which one do you like the best? Because these are all from NASA, okay? Which one do you like the best, right? I like the blue marble.
Top
right?
left.
I like
Top left
the blue
is
marble.
my favorite.
Yeah, that's your favorite. But these are all from NASA, okay? These are all from NASA, okay? These are all from NASA. Are you kidding me, right? And then if you want to look, this is the one that you like, right? But if you zoom in on this, if you zoom in and look, you can see that it's Photoshop because they are lazy. They use the same clouds again and again and again and again and again. And there's a guy, Robert Simon, who works for NASA as a visual artist, and he says he created it in Photoshop. That's his exact words. He created in Photoshop from data that they gave him. He made this greener because there's more algae, and he made this browner because there's less vegetation. And he made it for the way that people want to think that it looks. None of it is true.
FlatEarthDave.com. We are going to end it on this. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but they are asking you. Yeah. So,
what happened?
Where's your globe proof? Where's your globe proof? You said photos. We took care of that. Okay. Where's your globe proof? And here's the thing. Go home tonight, think about it. What's your globe proof? And when you can't come up with one, take the Flat Earth app challenge. Get the app. Every day there's a new video right here that Google's hiding from you. Watch the video each day, right? And if after 2 weeks, if you can come up with one globe proof, send it, and you win 3 Bitcoins. But before you
I'm a huge fan of conspiracy theories.
This is not a conspiracy theory.
We are.
Here are the frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions. All of them are answered. What about eclipses? Why the lie?
I'm putting out the.
Why the lie? This is the one that you want to hit. Why the lie?
I'm putting out the challenge to everyone in the chat. If you guys want to team up, if you want to do it on your own, if you can come up with a globe proof. Send it to us. We're gonna get it to Dave and get you.
I'm gonna make it even better. Whoever comes up, one of your audience members comes up with a globe proof, they get 3 Bitcoins, and you guys get 3 Bitcoins too.
That's it. Now we're talking.
Okay, that is the first time I've offered that special for you guys because you guys love balls. All right, you love balls, bouncy balls. All right.
Pause.
You guys are awesome. I love you guys, but you're really dumb on this topic.
Hey. Yeah,
we
need to do more research, Dave. Man, I really appreciate
use the app to do the research. It's called the Flat Earth.
I heard flat earthers on the app have met each other and actually gotten married off that app. So if you're single,
it's unbelievable.
Dating app?
It's actually you can look at all the people around you and you can send messages, you can communicate, you can look at their profiles. But I'm pulling up the world map just to show you that we're not nothing. Let this load. Here we go. This is the United States. Look, these are the people that have the app. And that's only like 1% of the flat earthers. Look at this. Look at this, right? Look at the UK.
Can you pull up Jupiter, Florida? Because I want we chill.
You want to see Jupiter, Florida?
Can you pull up Jupiter, Florida?
Chill. Yeah, look.
Check out all the flat earthers in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. These are all flat earthers, okay? Right? These are all flat earthers.
I don't pretend to know. Crazy. I don't pretend to know anything about. I'll pretend to know everything about everything. And
hey, listen,
I am a huge conspiracy theorist. I did conspiracy theories, but I'm sorry.
I got to tell you a story. I had a show called. I had a show called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole.
We're way over. We're way over time. Way over time.
I had a show called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. We looked into all conspiracies. When Flat Earth came up, I refused to look, and then when I looked, I'm like, wow, this is the real one. This is the one that changes everything. This is the one that changes your life. You still haven't come up with a globe proof. I've showed you several flat earth proofs. I have tons more. I just need one globe proof from you.
We're gonna come back. Get your six Bitcoin ready. Thank you, Dave.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right. I hope whatever team you want wins. See ya.
Yeah. Woo-wee. That was fun.
Wow. I mean, he's passionate about it for sure. I'm just upset that he said planets aren't real, and I didn't get to ask him about Pluto.
Best show ever. Oh, you forgot to ask him about Pluto. I'll send him a message and ask him about Pluto for you.
I couldn't take it honestly, but he was great. He was. I mean, he's passionate about it. Jay, you good?
You get sucked into this sort of stuff, right? This is what happens when you get sucked into this sort of stuff and you hear it enough, you start thinking it, and you're like, well, wait a minute. There's one thing to change your perspective on something. It's one thing when you, but then there's something completely different when you go from here to here to here to here, then back here, and then here to here to here, then back here, and now your brain. That's the idea, to scramble your brain. That's completely the idea, to scramble your brain. Yeah. And that's and that's kind of what was going on. That's sort of kind of what was going on. I'm good.
I would say this, and this is what I always say, because he does it and listen, he clearly believes it. But people do this. I'm going to bring it back to sports. People do this where, because it happens to me on TikTok all the time, where someone like sees something I post and they'll combat it by saying one thing that's true and then their lie. And because they start with a truth, people are like, oh, I'm going to believe everything they say now. And that's where, when I told you when I had the one-on-one, where it was like, well, he said this. And I'm like, well, yeah, I believe that. Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true. And then he hits you with the, the outer limits and the other civilizations. That's where he loses me. But I thought that was fantastic. So this is an episode about super chats. So we're gonna dive into the super chats. The chat is going insane, which I love. You guys are
it was a good. I mean, our views actually went up. So shout out to Dave. He kept everybody entertained for sure.
Hey, shout out to I don't know if he should be in bed. This is to Ara. Ara Mateus is watching. Dude, it's 10:30 my time. Mateus is 10. Send him to bed. It's one of my players. Mateus is one of the players on the GTA Mavericks. Send him to bed, Ara. All right, so let's hit up the super chats. Unless you guys, is there something else you want to before we go through the super chats? It's a super chat show, so
how do we just like change? Like,
how do we go from that? Listen, I'll start with some of the super chats that were left over for Dave.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go run and I'll be right back, you guys.
Okay, you go look up how many 7,000 islands in Japan. Where it's real. Planets are stars. Look at etymology. Double P is a believer. Double P is
he is on the hook. He's definitely
on the hook. He's on the hook.
No doubt about it.
Chase Richter. God bless Chill for the restraint. And we got to get Fluent the phone live stream technology he was using. Yes. I don't know what he was using. Wasn't that cool how he was doing it on his phone and it was showing up in the background? That was fire. I got to get that. I got a blank wall here. I can change the angle. We can definitely do that. Hunter, I'm assuming that's thought. Gen Z were the uneducated ones. This guy making teenagers look like rocket scientists trying to defy basic common knowledge.
I'm stuck. I'm still stuck on. We basically we run on batteries. That's what true. That's what I'm stuck on.
But that's the one true thing he said. We are, if you think about it, the brain sends electrical currents throughout your body, and when you get pain, that's an electrical current. That part is true, and I'm not just talking about the Matrix that they're harvesting our bodies for energy. That part is true. We are like batteries that we do have electrical currents running through us, and that's what sends from our brain waves. Like when you move your finger, that's an electrical current from your brain going to your finger saying move. And then when you stub your toe, that's the pain is an electrical current that goes up to your brain that says pain.
Then where does that electrical current come from? That electrical current comes from your nerves in your body.
That's right, from the nerves in your body. Absolutely.
That's not electrical, though, Tone.
It's the easiest way to explain.
I can't handle it, Tone. I'm trying to handle it. And you know me, you and I, we've had conspiracy theorist talks all the time, and I am a very open-minded person, right? I
tried to suck them into that birds aren't real one.
I'm very open-minded, but I'm sorry, Dave. That's 45 minutes out of my life I'm never getting back.
Come on, you didn't find that insightful?
I'm never getting that. I'm never getting that 45 minutes back in my life.
I thought that was a great use of time. I thought that was a great use of time. Hey, you know what? It's 316 day because Stone Cold said so. Not one beer, not two beers, not three beers, not four beers. That's how many Dave had. Maybe five. Who got suspended from PC? I saw the announcement. I don't know. But we are going to try to be better. Chill cooking. What are you cooking? What'd you have for dinner?
I'm not. I actually had some wheat pasta and some soy. It was pretty good too.
You still haven't come up with that vegan cookbook yet.
Yes, I gave the recipe to my man who was in the chat that day.
You did? You gave it to him?
Okay. I gave it to him.
All right, but I want to make a vegan cookbook. I'm going to publish it and put it on Amazon for you.
Let's talk to Cal Broski because here's a guy in our chat. Cal Broski is in our chat. Cook chill so bad. See, understand something, my man.
Did you? I did not see that.
We don't know. We don't know everything, right? We don't know everything here, and because we don't know everything, when we get educated about something, we are intrigued. But as people, we also recognize nonsense. And I recognize nonsense also. So when I hear something that doesn't make sense to me, doesn't mean that I'm getting cooked. It means that I don't get it. And it doesn't mean that I'm not that smart. It means that what you're talking about doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, we should be asking questions.
Just so we know, I've never been cooked. I either make you more fluent, or you make
now you're more fluent,
or you make me more fluent. That's it. That's it.
I just where I have it's frustrating because, like you said, Jay, like I don't know science like that, unfortunately, so I can't debate. But I know
you were researching.
I did a little, but I didn't get really to ask. It's hard to debate with somebody who, like, if you're going to prove a point, you have to prove it, let me respond, and then we go back and forth to get to some type of understanding versus like what Jay said, just like that. There's no conversation.
I'm just saying, if this was one of those debates, like if this was Black Friday, we all would have lost. We did not come prepared.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. He had the better point. Because what's your point? What is your point that the earth is round? I'm like, because I saw a picture. Like, that's it. That's all I got. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
And in a debate, because I said so does not work.
No. Yeah. It's because I said so. That doesn't work.
Hey, it was interesting. Like, there are a few points that, like the island thing, that's cool. I didn't know that, and it's right on point. So
and that's why I said you still can learn some stuff, even if you don't agree with the over kind of arching. This is it.
Yeah,
there's still stuff that you're like, because you look it up and you're like, oh, that's true. I did not know that. Like, I didn't know they found a bunch of islands. So yeah,
I did not know that neither. That sounded super wild.
That's what I'm saying. In the
crazy Kaiser says.
Hello everyone, Strawman Dan here. And before I start, I just want to tell you all about what is by far my favorite app of all time. Yes, you guessed it, it's the Flat Earth Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock app. I know, for years I have been anti-Flat Earth with my highly edited weekly anti-Flat Earth scripted rants. But after downloading this app, wow, I'm blown away. Earth is a horizontal level plane and I'm a complete douchebag. I'm sorry.